And we are live. Hello, Megan.
Hello.
And hello, Terry.
Hey, John, how are you? It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see. Good to see you both. And hello, folks out in Facebook land and YouTube land. Thanks for joining us today. Uh, Welcome to Songs and Conversation at the Warming House via Minneapolis, Texas, and Nashville, right?
Yeah,
I mean, not just Texas. I asked Austin and Nashville and Minneapolis. So three
Right.
great cities right here on our screens. So
that's right.
welcome, welcome y'all.
Yes, John, you and I were supposed to play a warming house show, in fact, at the end of, or it was the 2nd of May, I think, right?
Yeah, it was.
And then I could have seen, I've been to St. Paul, but I haven't spent a ton of time in Minneapolis. Um, so it would have been, you would have been showing me around Minneapolis. Or maybe not.
Excellent.
Maybe you would have just said, here, go to this place and you'll have a great time.
No, I know. I'm bummed out. And Megan, you were gonna play. I want to say end
Yeah,
of March. Was it
no, I was gonna play in June.
in June? Okay, okay.
Yeah, because I was gonna come up and stay with my sister in St. Paul and visit
Nice.
my old stomping grounds. I actually went to 1 year of junior high school um, in Minneapolis. I went to
Oh, you did.
Anthony Junior High.
Excellent.
Um, yeah.
It's St.
So
Anthony Park, or is it?
no, Anthony Junior High. Oh, it was, gosh, I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
I was 12. I
somewhere.
couldn't
Yeah.
drive. Uh, so, yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, when we at the Warming House we closed down for live shows. I think our last show was March 13th, and we had 40 shows on the books. We had another 40
Gosh.
holds, of shows we were just finalizing. And I can recall, like, in March when we canceled out, like, the first 2 weeks after we closed, we were rescheduling people for June dates, thinking,
Hmm.
this will all go over. And I think we weren't alone in that as far as venues go. I mean, everyone, you know,
Yeah.
they closed schools and they said, people will be back in 2 weeks, or I mean, that was we've learned a lot, haven't we?
I know.
Yeah.
It's so funny thinking back to that because I had a couple of those similar things where I was rescheduling and I kind of wonder what was I thinking? Like, what did I think would be different?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I'm not really sure. I don't know.
You know, I, I think we thought it was just gonna disappear, right? Wasn't that? Didn't somebody say it was just gonna?
Yes, somebody did
So,
say that.
somebody said that.
Somebody did say that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, hey, I need to give a little spiel, I guess, don't I? We just like jumped right into the conversation, and I forgot that I'm kind of hosting this too. So welcome, folks, to this event, and yeah, for those who are not familiar with us, the Warming House is a 40-ish, 45-ish seats listening room in South Minneapolis. Um, we have been in existence for a little over 4 years, doing about 150 shows a year, and another 100 community events each year, which includes open mics, jams, songwriter circles, other educational and community building activities. And as I mentioned, we have our physical space has been closed down since mid March. We've been doing online shows from time to time. Right now, we're doing kind of every other Monday or a handful of Mondays here and there. So check out our calendar. We've got some good ones coming up that actually might not be on our calendar yet, but they will be. So keep tuned. Mondays at 6. We'll be doing this most Mondays at 6. Let's go with that. Um, in addition to that, on Thursdays, a few times a month, we're going to have an open mic. We'll have a songwriting, a songwriters circle sort of thing, where it's just a closed Zoom meeting, and songwriters can get feedback from other songwriters on songs they're working on. I think we're going to do our music business night, which is just a time to get together and chat about what's going on in our musical business lives. Ends up being kind of a musician support group, more or less. But anyway, keep an eye on the Warming House Facebook and webpage and YouTube and all those things, and join us when you can. We did just make an announcement a couple of weeks ago that we are not going to reopen in our current space. We're planning to find a new space when the dust settles, for a number of reasons, and you can read more about that on our site. But the hope is to be open in a better spot, the same listening room vibe, and but to be in a space that's wheelchair accessible, for one, is a huge priority for us. Our current space was not wheelchair accessible, but also COVID has taught us that, having a space with good ventilation, is an important thing, and having some other kind of public health and accessibility and just kind of good community building features is something that we want to see in the next space. So stay tuned for news on that. All right, that is way enough from me, and so let's go around the room, and just how about how are we doing? Megan, do you want to just answer that big question in COVID world here?
How long do you have?
Today, just tell us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like I've got my Princess Leia ears on. I'm doing okay. I've taken some time to do a lot of thinking, and a lot of work just on house and my yard. I'm just a co-founder of a group here in Nashville called Independent Music United Nashville, which it's kind of a musician support group. I mean, basically, it's an attempt to organize the independent music community to be reaching out to our senators and our congressperson to make sure that we are getting some federal support,
Cool.
and also to try to get in to talk to our mayor and our state reps, to see what can be done there. I mean, there's without going into any kind of detail, I don't know if you've seen any pictures of Lower Broadway lately, but it's really a mess here. We've had to go back to phase 2, and there just appears to be a large percentage of people who are refusing to wear masks, and it makes it really difficult for musicians who can't safely go back to work until we're at least in phase 4. And additionally, we can't even travel. Like, we're on the list of like states that if you come to some other state, Illinois, you have to have a 14-day quarantine if you're from Tennessee. So
Wow.
I'm really trying to help people to kind of fight for their livelihoods.
Yeah. Wow. It's hard work and important work.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps me busy, and it keeps the fire going inside of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Terry, what's happening in Austin these days?
Well, I do, so from a musical perspective, I do a weekly live stream on Wednesday afternoons, mostly just to keep myself sharp, and to sort of keep the songs in the part of my brain they need to be in. I haven't played a show, I think, since February 28th, and have had a lot of shows, including one with you, cancel.
Right.
And so, that aspect of things is, that is what musicians are having to deal with right now. That's hard. My wife works full time and is very busy at work. She works for an education nonprofit, and education issues right now are extremely complex, and really at the forefront, I think, of a lot of people's minds. So she's very busy. We have two daughters who are 15 and 11, who have been really incredibly good sports throughout all of this. But we have good days and bad days, I guess, and we try to take it one day at a time.
Yeah. Well, it's great to be here with you all. You said, you do your weekly streams, Terry, in part just for yourself and to keep yourself sharp. And I think, for me, doing these Monday things now and again it's like part of it is bringing music to folks, but part of it is just like getting together with two other people and chatting and feeling like there's some almost normalcy about life for a little while.
Yeah.
So thanks to both of you for being here. We should probably get some music going. So I would love, either one of you could start off. Does anyone have a strong desire to kick it off here? All right, it's my job as moderator. I should just make the call. How about Meghan? If you
Sure.
First with a song.
Sure.
Excellent.
So I'll start out with, I'll just do the title from my latest record, which was released last year. Wow. End of May last year. And, wow, which seems like a decade ago, a little bit.
Better than releasing this May, I guess, right?
Boy, I tell you, it's so, it's just, there's just a lot to be heartbroken about right now. So I feel for my friends and, people who are having a release right now. It's tough. Anyway, without further ado, this is called Seen Enough Leavers. Says I thought I've seen enough leavers, no, you won't be back. Some things are just true. I stayed too long, you too long. There's a blue wind blows around my cabin. Let it blow all it wants, wash it over. And some things are just true. I stayed too long, too long. Time has to stay. Right away, baby, I get shows. Yeah, spent dodging your blows, times losses. I know. I try to capture, but I never saw. Before it hits the ground, it burns apart. Some things are just true. I stayed too long, too long. While now shock and bone cloud comes to play. He urged me to be gone on the edges now. Some Years spent dodging your blows, times passes, I know. Crush me, love, crush me, love me. Lifetimes of often fighting in this place. Let time drive me blind, let it spring to life. It can take what's not nailed down. I ain't to a child. Some things are just true. I stay too long, you too long for. Some things are just true. I stay too long for you.
Oh, that's a cool song.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
That's a really cool song. I think I saw you play that live at the 5 Spot. I'm almost positive
Yeah,
I did.
you probably did.
Yes. Megan and I share I don't know what you would call him, just a booster publicist.
He's our mascot.
Yes. Adam Dawson.
A-Doll.
And Broken Jukebox Media and we met at a showcase he put on in Nashville, which again, as we mentioned when we were coming on, feels like eons ago.
Yeah.
Long time. So,
Yeah.
so what have either of you found like this as a time when you've been able to write new songs over the last couple months, or has it been for a lot of people I've talked to, it's been really hard to do a lot of the creative stuff that they've wanted to do. For some it's been good. For others, I think for me it's been kind of up and down.
Exactly.
But what do you?
Yeah,
what is
same.
that fun?
Up and down.
Up and down, yeah. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
You know, trying to be gentle with myself, you know, given, and that's, you know, when I talk with other people who are upset with themselves for not being creative or like letting their kids eat mac and cheese 3 meals a day. I'm just kind of like, take it easy on yourself. This is, times are really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Well, Terry, do you got one you wanna?
I do. Megan and I think, released records pretty close in time to each other last year.
Yeah.
Mine came out, I think, on January 25th of 2019, which was a week, John, after you and I had played shows in Houston and here in Austin together. That was like the whole, you both know, the whole record birthing process is it's stressful, and I look back at that week and I'm kind of like, I'm not entirely sure how I got through that. But this is the first track off that record. It's a song called Sagamore Bridge.
Great.
Well, they took out the circle, but the traffic's no better. $60 million just pissed away. You sit for an hour, baby fills her diaper, but that Huggy ain't leaking, so I guess we're okay. And at Ferretti's in Brewster, roast beef and salami, sliced to perfection, that IBP meat. Folks stand there waiting in tunics and tivas, a little hungover, maybe 1/3 asleep. On a thin strip of sand out in the Atlantic, you can sin like the Kennedys did. Provincetown salt boxes shimmer in sunlight. There's a suicide fence on the Sagamore Bridge. There's a suicide fence on the Sagamore Bridge. Yeah, bar band in Wellfleet. They do hits from the 90s at the Beachcomber Pub. on Saturday nights. It's like an ad for Viagra. They play Bush and Nirvana, hit on the barflies and get lucky sometimes. And the rich folks from Chatham, well, they don't like poor folks. Say affordable housing, it won't happen here. And in their black E350s, when they've had four too many, they speed on the back roads and T-bone the deer. On a thin strip of sand out in the Atlantic, you can sin like the Kennedys did. Provincetown salt boxes shimmer in sunlight. There's a suicide fence on the Sagamore Bridge. There's a suicide fence on the Sagamore Bridge. Hey, the girls in from Russia live in single wide trailers in Yarmouth and Dennis. On summer J1s, they serve crab cakes at parties and repel the advances of husbands and sons. And on Labor Day weekend, locals stand on the bridges, waving goodbye at the folks on Route 6. Then they head back to their houses, feeling smug satisfaction, mix Coke and Evan Williams, and scream at their kids. On a thin strip of sand out in the Atlantic, you can sin like the Kennedys did. Provincetown salt boxes shimmer in sunlight. There's a suicide fence on the Sagamore Bridge. There's a suicide fence on the Sagamore Bridge. There's a suicide fence on the Sagamore Bridge. Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Awesome. Love that song.
Thank you.
I was singing backup. You couldn't hear me. That's a it's a great song.
Thank you.
Yeah, really love that song. I think I sent you a photo once of my radio, my car radio, when that song came on Radio Heartland up here in
Yes.
in the Twin Cities. So
Yes, that was
the
awesome. It's the Current. Is that the
yeah,
station?
yeah, the current radio station, and they have one of their substations is Radio Heartland, which plays all the music we all play, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or the stuff we love, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of the folk Americana, roots station, and yeah, that one, they play that one a lot. So great song. So.
Thanks.
All right, hey, Megan, why don't we hear another from you?
Sure. You can do that. That's not right. Hang on. Maybe we'll see. John, are you ready for yours?
You know, I can go ahead.
Yeah.
And
Can we do that? Just
another
because
tuning break?
I was tuning and then I slipped right out of tune.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to hear me tune. I promise you.
All right, I will play one. I wasn't actually planning to play one, but I'll do it. So
Yay!
then we'll keep. Yeah, I want to
And
make
then
sure you guys.
I'll
get
be ready. I promise.
enough songs in here. So anyway, all right. So this one is by special request. It's called "Shutdown." Woke semi-sober at 4 a.m. Went to the garage to check for dents on my car, but it wasn't there. Hope I had the sense to leave it somewhere. And it's not in a ditch or impound lot, being protected by a gung-ho cop, finding blood and hair on the grill from someone or something I wounded or killed. I shut down the saloon, shut down the thoughts of you, shut down the years of abuse, shut down the shame and confusion, shut down the hard truths. They'll never let me loose. Someday I might be a better man. He'll take the pain better than I can now. Moving forward into the storm, fewer retreats to the familiar and warm. But today I need to shut it all down, so I'll drink enough to drown. Still, I don't want to wreck your day. If you see me, you should go the other way. I shut down the saloon, shut down the thoughts of you, shut down the years of abuse, shut down the shame and confusion, shut down the hard truths. They'll never let me loose.
Oh, I love that song so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Hard truths that never let me loose.
Indeed.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
That's just poetry. Fabulous.
Thanks. Yeah. No, it's,
Yeah.
Thank you for playing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, that's from a record from 2 years ago, I think that was released. So I want to say like June of 2018. But anyway, yeah, thanks. So let's hear another one from you, Megan.
Okay. I think I'm in. Should be in tune now.
Excellent.
So this is a song that, well, that whole album that I released last year was kind of the aftermath of the end of a marriage, and so this song is, strangely enough, I wrote it while I was still married, but it wasn't really about us until I started singing it after, and then I was like, wow, maybe I should listen to myself a little more. Anyway, this is called Next Time Around. Squares, clean paint, unmasked by your exit. Floors unburdened by rust. I should be scrambling, cover these up, but I'm not. 18 1819, East Bradbury Highway. We swore we'd die in this place. That the people we bought from once said exactly the same. Leaving the leaves are leaving. I don't know if they get pushed to their leave. I'll be holding this whole load to south by the end of next week. The outlines of tools we couldn't fix broken. Graffiti the road. There are ways to measure our failures after all. We left half the records in a couple of boxes. Things that I can't recognize. Do we all live this way? We all keep telling these lies. And even the leaves are leaving. I don't know if they get pushed to their leave. I'll be holding this whole load due south by the end of next week. Maybe we all get more chances next time around. The Davenports all chewed to hell by the puppies. Friends help me drag it outside. Maybe one couple's wrecked, it's another romantic ride. They calling this amicable to your mother. Some things just weren't meant to be. I don't recall anyone serving that sentence but me. Even the leaves are leaving. I don't know if they get pushed to their leave. I'll be pulling this whole load due south by the end of next week. Maybe we all get more chances next time around. Maybe we all get more chances next time around.
That was great.
Thank you.
Wow, wonderful.
Thank you.
What one's that? What is that one called?
That's called Next Time Around.
Next time around. That's
Thank you.
gorgeous song. So
Yeah, just great. Your voice is
Thanks, Terry.
amazing. I have to say. Yes. I remember, there was a lot going on that day at the 5 Spot when we played with a bunch of other bands, but I remember your set, and there were like other very important people who played, like Rod Picott and Ben Delacour played and all that stuff. But I don't remember their sets at all. I do remember yours.
Well, thank you. I actually sang backup with Ben on one of his
Yeah.
songs, which was which was nice. It was great.
Yes.
I miss
And
singing with him.
Ben has played at the Warming House, I think, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Ben has played it at the Warming House.
He played there, a number of times. Rod played once or twice as well. Ben played, I want to say 3 or 4 times there. Somehow, he played at least once with John D. Graham for a show. I think he was touring with John D. for a while, and a couple others on his own as well. So, I think he had one on. No, John D. had one on the books, I think, or close to on the books that we had to say goodbye to. But anyway, So you got another for us, Terry?
I do. This is, I think, from the same family of songs as Shut Down, kind of. The first time I heard that was in a hotel room in Iowa City, Iowa, at the Folk Alliance Region Midwest Conference.
I remember that.
Yes, and was just really very, very struck by that song. So this one is also on the record that came out last year, and I wrote it almost exactly 3 years ago. So it's been bouncing around for a little while. It's called Oklahoma. I buy a 6-pack of beer east of Chakotah at a truck stop, and I get back onto the road. I drink one after the next, and I admire that prairie sunset, and I hope I-40 carries me back home. Well, my sister said the dad could use a visit. I said I don't know what good that would do. See, I've been drinking and depressed and kind of useless. She said it might not be a bad thing for you too. So I'm driving across Oklahoma, doing all I can to stay in my own lane. I should have turned around back in Arkansas, but I got my mother's blood in my veins. I'm in a cold sweat west of Okemah. I wish my racing heart would just give it a rest. I think of pulling off, picking up a half pint of Smirnoff, but I hear my mother's sweet voice in my head. She said, I need you to try and be there for your daddy. I know it's hard for you, just do the best you can. But she was gone just a few short hours later. And Dad refused to let go of her hand. So I'm driving across Oklahoma, doing all I can to stay on my own legs. I should have turned around back in Arkansas, but I got my mother's blood in my veins. Oh, be my first time at the house since the reception. Well, I've been saying it's tough for me to get away, and now facing down the dear departed memories. And my daddy's grief might be more than I can take, but I'm driving across Oklahoma, doing all I can to stay on my own legs. I should have turned around back in Arkansas, but I got my mother's blood in my veins. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Great song. Boy, it just, you can feel the road in that one. It just has that road rhythm and kind of the sparseness of Oklahoma. Like it's palpable.
Thanks.
Coming through.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker too. Gosh. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what do we got here? We've got time, I think, for each of you to do two more.
That's great.
Does that work?
Sure.
For you? Do you have?
Sure.
Perfect. I mean, I'll just talk for 20 minutes. I did want to say, because I mentioned John D. Graham, who is one of my favorites, and he's been. I don't know if you guys have caught these yet, but he lives there in Austin. He's probably a neighbor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so there are some things that have come out of this whole virtual world that we're in that are like cool. And one of them is that John D. Graham at noon Central, like, I don't know if it seems like it's almost every day. I don't know if there's a set schedule to it or not, but at noon he reads a children's book online in his backyard, and he spends part of the time just like talking about the birds in his yard and his neighbor's leaf blower and whatever might be happening at the time. But and then he settles down and reads us a story, and it's like it can be a very nice way to like kind of take a moment at noon on a weekday or whenever it happens to be. So if you haven't yet, check it out.
I have to check that out. He's such a warm person, like he just kind of, there's a warmth to him that I don't know if warmth is the right word, because he sort of has this seemingly gruff exterior, but there's like just, I've always, every show I've seen of his in every context has just kind of left me feeling good.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the idea, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I get that. So cool. Well, Meghan, what do you got for us next?
Well, I specialize in depression, so I'm just gonna keep it rolling. This is not actually autobiographical, thank God. Although I've been asked if it is, but it's not. But you know, I life just, you know, it kind of breaks people sometimes, and that sucks. And so I guess I'm not, I mean, I've thought about that a lot actually during this time. And I guess I really hope that if people are feeling at their breaking point, that they're getting some help. It's out there. It doesn't feel or sound or taste like it did beforehand, but it's out there. And I just feel the need to say that right now, because we're losing people, and that's really terrifying to me. So anyway, this is a sad song about addiction. Oh, it's called Morristown. Well, it's actually called A Birthday in the Pawn Shop, Pawn. Just in case you hear pawn as something else. And it's about Morristown, New Jersey. There is a Morristown in Tennessee, and I could imagine the same thing happening in Morristown, Tennessee, as happens in this song. But just in case you're one of those people who likes geographical accuracy, this is Morristown. Lightning turned the trees on the trees around every night that summer down Morristown. Thunder shot curses across the sky in my morning. Not a single blade of grass was dry. Sat shot behind the A&P, the wind, the rain, Rex and me in Morristown. Daddy left Mama for a case of beer, and in case he changed his mind, she brought us here. Rex had a sister, Lou and Ben, the shell of a man, where's Daddy been? We told stories about what ought to be, tried our lives but never see Morristown. I don't know how much of this story you already heard. Man trades a diamond ring for a mockingbird. Diamond ring for a mockingbird. Called her baby Lila and we set to work to spare that child a world of hurt. In between jobs, she took the time and love on her, teaching nursery rhymes. One for all and all for one. Might have been hungry, but we sure had fun in Morristown. Lila could sing before she could talk. Her voice made the hardest man's azure song. Tried to let her song lure me back to the world, but I had a bad case being my daddy's girl. Guess there's no cure for a heart that's broken, for her even starts beating my words unspoken in Morristown. I don't know how much of this story you already heard. Man trades a diamond ring for a mockingbird. Diamond ring for a mockingbird. Rex lost it all at the Greyhound track, and I couldn't have held a job if it was strapped to my back. Night before Lila turned the age of 9, threw myself a farewell party, meth and wine. And the walls were dirty and the lights were dim. Rex identified my bodies next of kin. Morristown. I don't know how much of this story you already heard. Trains are diamond red or a mockingbird. Diamond red or a mockingbird. Mockingbird.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That was cool.
Thanks.
And it captured Morristown. I've been to Morristown. In a former life, I was a trial lawyer, and there was like a week of depositions in
you get
Morristown. Yes, I do. I definitely do. It's I think I had some good sushi.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, well, it's it's closer to the coast.
Exactly. Yes, I don't really eat a whole lot of sushi in Austin.
That's good. Nor do I in Nashville. I just have that landlocked sushi fear.
Yep, smart.
Sadly, I eat a lot of it in Minneapolis. I just figure, I'd probably get it from FedEx just as quickly as the restaurants get it.
Do they ever have walleye sushi?
I've never experienced that, but
Or muskie?
I'm now gonna Google that. What I can find. Pickled herring sushi.
Ooh.
All right, Terry. Let's hear one.
Sure. The song is called "Does the Fish Feel the Knife?" Appropriately enough.
Yes.
But does the fish feel the knife? That's what she asked me. And I did not know how I should respond. She asked me again, said, "Daddy, did you hear me?" Any answer that I gave would get it wrong. Yeah, most things seem kind of simple until you poke at 'em even just a little. Does the fish feel the knife? What happens when we die? Is it kind of like sleeping? She asked me this, and I was at a loss. Driving home from a wake early in the evening, I'd seen her staring up at Jesus on the cross. And you can't say no one knows, not to a girl who's 4 years old. Does the fish feel the knife? You need a license to drive a car, to shoot a buck, to cut a man's hair. Anyone can have a kid. I'll send you home, good luck, take care. Does a fish feel the knife? Daddy, who's that man? Why's he always on the corner? She asked me as we sat there at the light. a cardboard sign, spare a dime or a quarter. Man, there's so much in this world that just ain't right. We let folks slip through the cracks. No, I wasn't gonna tell her that. But does the fish feel the knife? You need a license to drive a car, to shoot a buck, to cut a man's hair. Anyone can have a kid. I send you home, good luck, take care. Does the fish feel the knife? Does the fish feel the knife? Does the fish feel the knife? Does the fish feel the knife?
Beautiful.
Thanks.
That
Is that
was
Thank you.
awesome.
Is that a newer one?
What's that?
Terry? Is that a newer one, or is that on your?
So that song is a little bit more than a year old, and it's out on vinyl.
Okay.
I did a session with a little record label out in Santa Cruz called Need to Know Vinyl. So if you go on my website, terrykleinmusic.com, you can actually buy a little 45 record of that song, and there's a B-side of another song I wrote called $1, 2 quarters, and a dime. So it is released. Technically, it hasn't been recorded with all the bells and whistles yet.
Right. Cool. Like it. I love the guitar kind of finger picking lead stuff that you were doing in the midst.
Thank
of that
you.
as well. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
All right. I think we're at our final round here. We'll get one more from each of y'all.
Cool.
And then, thanks again, to both of you, so much for doing this. And,
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, John. This is such a treat. It really is.
Of course, I wish we were all in the same room and
Yeah.
I know.
could,
Yeah, I
sit
know.
on a stage together. But this is the next best thing, right?
It'll happen someday. It'll happen again.
So, all right, Megan, what's your final song for us?
Yeah, so I was gonna do a new one, but then I heard what Terry was doing, and it reminded me that this song kind of flows in terms of just the finger picking stuff. I mean, not that I can finger pick, but it just kind of sounds like that song. This is called Georgette. One light bulb is enough to burn this lamp, Georgette. One light bulb is enough to burn this lamp, Georgette. Oh, that's thunder and lightning, by the way. I'm gonna start again. Wow! And it's pouring here. One light bulb is enough to burn this lamp, Georgia. One light bulb is enough to burn this lamp, Georgia. Start burning till 3, you'll drown yourself in death. We like to say we're dying, but we ain't dead yet. Tomorrow afternoon we'll go into town. Tomorrow afternoon we'll go into town. Your mama stole the fabric for your wedding gown. There is no silk strong enough to tie your heart down. It's 5 miles to Dakota, it's 5 102 more days. It's 5 miles to Dakota. It's 502 mountains. Girl could run her whole life just trying to get going. Oh, but you were lost in this world on the day that you were born. One light bulb is enough to burn this lamp, Georgia. One light bulb is enough to burn this lamp, Georgia. Start burning 2 or 3, you'll drown yourself in death. Or you like to say we're dying, we ain't dead yet. And one light bulb is enough to burn this lamp, Georgia.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you.
Really like that.
Wow. Oof, that's a wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really liked how the guitar work just supported the song and just kind of laid right underneath there. And yeah, really, really well done.
Thanks.
Well, if we're doing name songs, I think I'll finish with a name song.
Excellent.
John, thanks for having us. Megan, it's great to see you. I
You
wish
too.
it were not happening this way, but we'll take what we can get.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. It's just a pleasure to get to see you
Yes.
virtually in this way. So, and
Yes.
thank you as well, John. I really appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah, thank you both so much.
Yes. All right, this song is called Anika. It is named for the first girl who broke my heart when we were 6 years old. If I had a wooden leg, you'd steal it and leave me stuck up in a hayloft all alone. If I were Heathcliff, you'd forsake me and then haunt me as a ghost when you were gone. Well, I must have had it coming, I can't for sure say how. It's strange I have this stubborn wish you were right here with me now. And I have fault lines etched across my heart like the cracked up perfect patchwork of the Mona Lisa. And the deepest cut of all belongs to you. Yes, it all began with you, sweet Anika. Sweet Anika. If I were Jake, you'd be Lady Brett. Your ways would leave me desperate and beguiled. If I were Earth, you'd be the temptress moon, sending light across 250,000 miles. I guess I fall in love too easy and I move on too slow. But some broken things just stay broke, yeah, that's the way it goes. I have fault lines etched across my heart like the cracked up perfect patchwork of the Mona Lisa. And the deepest cut of all belongs to you. Yes, it all began with you, sweet Anika. Sweet Anika.
Yes. Awesome.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
Terry, has Anika heard that song?
It's not clear if she has.
It's not clear if she has.
She is a reasonably well-known person. She was nominated for a Tony Award in 2014 for a role on Broadway. And somebody, she has a Wikipedia page, and someone was proposing that they edit her Wikipedia page to state that she has this the song written about her. So a friend of mine was going to do that, and I said, please don't do that.
Is that her real name? Or did you change her name to?
That's her real name.
All right. So everyone, get out Google Tony Award. Well, hey, thanks everyone for joining us, and thanks again, Meghan and Terry. It was awesome.
Thank you, John.
Until we meet again.
All right. Thanks so much. Take care, everybody.
Night, y'all.